So today I'm back in Cherrington Road Cemetery. I'm gonna meet Bob now. He's got a few words on his mind about some chap. Hello Bob.
The early bird. Are you okay?
Early bird meets the worm. Beats worm.
Have you seen the grave?
No, I don't know where it is.
We're going to have a look first.
Yeah?
And I thought of as an opening,
Yeah.
with respect to you,
Yeah.
before we start speaking of Ernest,
Yeah.
I say good afternoon
Yeah.
to your tube viewers.
Thank you. YouTube
Your
viewers.
tube.
Yeah.
As a way of saying thank you. Would you
Yeah.
like me to say Robert?
Well, my name is Alfie.
Oh, Alfie.
But you're mistaken me older brother, Robert.
Ah, Robert, yes.
That don't matter to me. That don't matter to me. I
Yes.
could be a Robert.
If you'd like me to say Alfie.
Alfie, it don't matter.
Okay. And you have to bear with me because of my hearing.
Yeah, I know. I understand, Bob. Bless his heart.
Now, when we found this grave, you can imagine, look around you. It's a lot better to what it was,
Yeah.
graveyard. There was brambles, you name it. You could hardly see the headstone. No, don't speak of, because I don't want to speak of all that yet.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
I was just trying to give you an introduction as to what the grave was like.
Yeah.
You see over there, like that.
Yes.
Well, the last 2 years it's been a beautiful floral display.
I don't think Bob likes being on camera. It's not fun.
And here we are. Here is his grave.
Beautiful.
Ernest Edward Smith. The grave, when I found it, was almost similar to what you see here with all the brambles.
Yes.
They cultivated it. I kept coming back as fast as I dug it up, it kept coming back up again, but I'm on top of it, as you can see.
Yes.
So now,
Very nice.
you say what you want to do.
Yeah, I just would like to know a bit, know about it, Ernest, because last time you were speaking, you told me about Sydney's connection to Ernest.
Sidney Cooper Weston?
Yeah,
Yes.
his connection to Ernest, and Ernest had a fall in the Warren.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that? To do with Edward, Ernest Edward, sorry.
No, just as an introduction, don't record anything just yet.
No.
With regards to the research work of Sidney Cooper Weston
Right.
over a long period of time,
Right.
I suddenly came across an article of Ernest Edward Smith. So I decided to have a read. Well, I was taken back. For that 13-year-old boy, the tragedy surrounding him, it touched me. Well, I couldn't find the grave. As you can see, look at the size.
Yeah, it'd be hard.
Find the grave. So fortunately for me, a member of the cemetery,
Cemetery friends.
yes, told me where the grave was.
Oh, that's good. They
So
do
then-
help a lot of people.
Now, you could never have ever have seen the name Ernest Edward Smith.
No,
As
of
you can
course.
see, the rest of the headstone is absolutely black.
Unreadable.
So I came up 3 months ago in the summer, just before the summer. 3 hours it took me to do that little piece, where my fingers, tops of my fingers were raw with the chemical. Anyway, cut the story short, as you can see, I do not intend to leave it like that. Once autumn comes and these are dead, they will all be taken out, and then I will have the whole of the front only completely reviewed, so we can see everything of who his relations were, etc, etc.
It took 3 hours just to do that little bit.
3 hours and my fingertips were raw.
I bet.
But I do intend to have Spencers, who did Sidney Cooper Western headstone. I intend to have them just to do the front. I know it's expensive, but it will be worth it in the end.
Yeah, it will be.
Now you tell me what you need to do now.
So you told me about the incident on the camping. Do you know any more about that? About his family? Do you know anything about him?
Well,
I know
going to go into a little bit.
I know it's a lot
Yes.
of research. I
Yes.
know it takes a long time, but
I'm not going to go into the whole of the family, but I'm more or less going to speak of his mother and his father.
okay, that'd be interesting. Yeah.
So as an introduction, as I said to you down there, you say when?
Whenever you want, I can.
Good afternoon to your true viewers. It pleases me this afternoon to say thank you to Alfie for taking his time and trouble to be with us this afternoon to discuss a nasty issue relating to a 13-year-old boy. One Wednesday afternoon, a school class full of boys, 31 in all, from George Spurgeon School. What should have been excitement turned to tragedy. 2:30 in the afternoon, the school, class had broken up to all go to the Warren to do research on nature, flowers, and to record them. Everything was going fine. All the children had arrived safely with the teacher. 4:15, the teacher dismissed the whole of the class to go home. Some of the boys had to go home early and he relieved them. Some of the boys wanted to carry on as it was a class of boys only. 6 of the boys took the path up to the cliff at the Warren. Some of the boys reached 50 feet. Ernest Edward Smith and 2 others had gone even further, 150 feet up, when all of a sudden his foot on a piece of turf gave way and he was shouting out, "I'm falling, I'm falling." This was mentioned in the coroner's report. However, poor Ernest down. When he reached the bottom, the head teacher had heard the screams and the other children had rushed over. Ernest Edward Smith was still alive. Fortunately, the farm very nearby, a farm labourer came with a cart and took him home to 57 Sidney Street. He was still alive. The doctor was called. The doctor thought he was suffering from severe shock, but sadly, 2 hours later, he died. The post-mortem revealed that he had died from a brain hemorrhage and bleeding in the brain. His mother was a retailer in beer. His stepfather were living at 57 Sidney Street. And of course, George Spurgeon was just more or less across the road, which is now formerly known as Castle Hill School. A 100 of the school children knew Ernest very, very well. He was a popular pupil. In respect, they went back to the Warren and picked and made wreaths of all the wild flowers, their way of remembering Ernest. Sadly, Ernest was put to rest. All the curtains and blinds in Sidney Street of the shops closed. It was a very, very big funeral. As time went on, the wounds healed. A year later, the Reverend Brooks of St Saviour's Church unveiled a wall plaque in remembrance of Ernest Edward Smith. The words touch my heart. To finish it up, the Reverend Brooks, and I'm going to repeat his words, which were very, very moving. He took thee, and he will restore thee. He gave it, and he took it. I say it again. He took thee, and he will restore thee. Now, how appropriate words they were. Now, Ernest Edward Smith was 13 years of age. 1 month on, he would have been 14. What a terrible, sad, tragic end to the day, which was supposed to be of excitement in leaving the school desk and going to the Warren in the open. Now we go on, we move on. Over 100 years his grave is here, unloved, uncared, overgrown, brambles, you name it. Thank you to the Mr. Edward Smith. Front of the grave will be, as you can see here, nice and clean.
Yeah.
I did mention the class being 31 boys.
Yes.
Now 31 boys in one class.
I wouldn't like it.
No. Then again, look how strict they would have been 100 odd years ago.
Yeah, of course.
I should have also mentioned the coroner's report clearly stated that the teacher was not to be blamed, as boys will be boys.
Of course, yeah. Clearly an accident when it's on a cliff.
I tell you, I've done it. I did that myself not so long ago, 2 years ago. I'd never do it again.
Yeah.
Not thinking. So far up, I knew the danger when I was up there. But just think 100 years ago, it must have been even worse. It was a pathway that leads right up.
Yeah, of course.
Part of that now is all, more and more is now beginning to fall back down. So it's treacherous. Did you get a good response from the your tube on this one?
Very good response, yeah.
Good.
Many people around Folkestone interested. Many people around Folkestone interested about the local history.
Good.
And they know you anyway, so they see you on video and they watch you and they hear and they get interested more.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, Mary's been very good because even now she's not, even though she's lost her seat, she's still very active.
She is.
For the ward.
I know she is, yeah. That tells you she's genuine caring for her place. She just don't do it for the folks, you know, for the power trip and stuff like this.
It's always the way, the good ones end up finished. The ones that do nothing take all the credit. Well, if there's anything else before I leave you.
I think that'll be everything for today,
Good.
Bob.
Well, thank you very much indeed.
Thank
taking
you.
your time and trouble to attend today. And I'm sure
Anytime.
we're with you in your efforts to reveal these things.
Yeah. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Bob. Take care. Wise words. Interesting man. Full of words. Full of energy. I had to run to catch up with Bob in the graveyard. I call it graveyard, but it's actually a cemetery, or I don't know. Anyway, so I hope you really enjoyed that video. This has been Folkestone Cheriton Cemetery with Bob Moreland, talking a bit about Earnest and Sydney. And if you don't know about them and you want to know a bit more about it, ask me on YouTube, comment below, or have a look on Bob Moreland playlist. Thank you for watching. Give a comment, thumbs up, and keep supporting the channel.
Member of the cemetery, who with their help and kindness we found his grave. I decided it's time to be cultivated. So for the last 2 years, as you can see now, they're just beginning to die off. It's been a beautiful display. I intend at the end of autumn, once the flowers have died, to have Spencer's back from Dover to clean the whole front of the headstone, revealing all the details of his family. And don't forget, he was born in 1892 and sadly died in 1906. Yes, there is and was a wall plaque in remembrance of Ernest Edward Smith placed in the wall of George Spurgeon's school. Much later on, I made arrangements to see the head teacher. He was given all the paperwork relating to the sadness of this young 13-year-old boy. I had asked him at a later stage to enlighten me as to whether my offer would be accepted to replace the wall plaque which had long disappeared. To this day, even though a letter was sent requesting that information, and a counsellor, ex-counsellor, Mary Laws, who too wrote to the head teacher with regards to the offer that I had previously made, but he has no interest in the history of the school that today he represents. Isn't that sad?
I think it is, yeah.
As this is the school the boy went to. So if you have any questions, please fire away.
I don't really have any questions, not today. I just wanted to know a bit about Earnest, and you told me a little bit of information, good information.
Good.
Yeah.
All I can say is, to finish it up, you can say conclude. Isn't it nice to know that now look, over 100 years of age,
Exactly.
he's come back to life.
Yeah. It's not. It'll be nice to know in 100 years' time when I die, some chap will do this for me. You know.
Yes,
It's the same thing.
I've said to you before, as a Christian spiritualist,
Yeah.
I feel that this was part of my pathway.
Yeah. Of course.
So hopefully, maybe your tune will embarrass the head teacher of Sydney Street School, now widely known as Castle Hill.
When people from Folkestone see my video, they hear about it and they won't like it, and they might even nudge him to do it. Hopefully.
Sad.
Maybe I should go up there.
No interest in the history of the school that he represents. Shame on him.
Shame on him.
Well, that's all I can say. It's been quite the floral display has been beautiful through the summer.
Yes.
It's just beginning to fade.
Yes.
If he's looking down on us, which I'm sure he
will
is
be.
this
It
afternoon,
will be.
I'm sure he'll put a smile on his face.
He will be. We both know this.
Did you ever see the Sidney Cooper Western grave?
I did, yeah. When I was coming up.
Yes.
Yes. Did you want to do a few words at the graveyard, or do you have to go? Are you in a rush?
No.
Did you want to go and talk about Sydney?
Yes.
It's up to you. It's up to you. You're the one talking.
Was that satisfactory?
It is. Thank you.
Yes, good.
Yes.
And I hope I touched his rotten heart.
Yes.
Wouldn't you think he could have acknowledged, not me, but the counsellor?
Yes. Exactly.
She's lost a seat. A beautiful woman.
I know. I know, Mary.
Did so much for the area she represents. And look, they put one back in there as useless.
From the Harbour Wards, yeah? Yeah, I know. Mary from Harbour Wards. Mary from Harbour Wards. She's
She
really
was
good.
wonderful.
Yeah. Trying
If
to
it
get her
hadn't
folk
have been
back
for
in.
her, the fountain would have gone to Folkestone seafront.
Yeah. Sure would.
But look around us, isn't it sad? All these beautiful people, look at their graves. But as I said to you, coming up, there is a voluntary group called the Cemetery Friends. And gradually they've listed all these graves that were unknown, who couldn't see. They're doing all who these people were, recording them. And I'll show you another one where we're going around called Gilbert Kennett.
Okay, that'd be
Now,
interesting.
I don't know too much about him, so we won't go too far, but I do know one thing. He served under Lord Nelson. He was captain. Now, isn't that amazing? And I'll show you his grave. Hello. Lovely afternoon. He lost his eye. Now, Gilbert Kendick, and here you will see, here he lost his right eye and received many, something I can't read that, many sustained wounds. I've got some information on him. Not that I know too much, we're building a little dossier up. He was a remarkable man, he was a JP. And when they moved the Sydney Cooper Western Fountain from the west end of the Leas, they were to put it down to the harbour. You know where the Royal George is?
Yeah.
Near there. But in the end it went to East Cliff. So the fountain erected for him disappeared many years ago, but I've got a photo of it.
It's strange.
There's the other one.
Yeah, it's beautiful, that. Very nice white.
And you see there all the brambles. That's how it was. And this has been now floral display for 3 years. Every year I come up, put the plants in.
Do you remember how long it took you to do the first part?
3 years it's been a floral display.
Right.
But again, to get it like that from the beginning, as you can see over there with all those brambles, that's how it represented.
Yeah.
Now, it's a long time, but we did it. But I love the words on the front of the curve. I am the door. By me, if any man enters in, he shall be saved.
I like that as well. very good.